Good on audio.
Yeah.
We start Eagle. Good morning.
Are we good?
All right, let me hug it. I appreciate that. Thank you. Make sure you go back and you can say hi. Just wait. Yeah.
What's going on? How you doing?
He said hello. You ready?
I met you before. You like halfway on the screen, or I could barely see you.
He said hello, and he said he remembers you. He met you. You ready to go back? He met you before. You ready to go back to bed? Okay. Um.
All right, y'all. Welcome to episode 16 of Feel Free Conversations. I am Mike Brown here with James, that yoga dude Woods. Y'all should start a podcast together.
Funny.
That might actually be fun.
See. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, after I get off the call, can you tell me about it? Okay. Okay. You look like you're still sleepy. Okay. Go. Okay. You just want to be over here. Um. I know. Okay. Yeah, man. So, how was New York?
So far, it's been cool, man. I think life has been moving fast in general. And yeah, I feel like I've been out here longer than 2 weeks. Definitely feels like longer than 2 weeks. Um, but yeah, something that's been coming up for me is you asked me a question yesterday. Um, and Johnny asked me this question before, but how did it feel to have my own media network? And I haven't really taken time to appreciate that. And I think what's been coming up for me lately is like just not taking the time to appreciate the things that I've been doing in general. I think I've been on my Forrest Gump shit, like, just running past the end zone and not realizing that I'm hitting, like, you know, Johnny and I started a show together, and it's a good show, and I've felt myself in that space of like not even necessarily wanting to give up, but just being so consumed with other shit that I hadn't really been taking time to acknowledge like how good this show is, you know. Even in doing this show, like I think I've kind of just been treating it like just getting on live and then moving on to the next thing. And yeah, man, I just wanted to express that in this moment.
Why do you think that is?
I think, is it's kind of like what we talked about yesterday. I'm kind of in that in between space of like feeling like life is good, but then also feeling that I'm not where I want to be type shit.
Yeah.
So it's
Um.
kind of, it's almost like confusing my computer system.
Is where you are better than where you wanted to be?
For sure, for sure. And that's what I have to always acknowledge is like, this is further than I've ever imagined being, you know. But at the same time, it's like that idea of like I'm supposed to be doing this, I'm supposed to have this job and do that, and it's like, man, it's hard to release that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna front and just act like it's easy to release.
Because when I met you, you were a pharmacy major, and I remember you in that yellow book studying the chemicals and the chemistry and stuff. You was a pharmacy major for like a semester or something like that.
No, I did
or
a
a year,
year. I
a
did a
year,
year. Yeah.
and like, I could see you putting in the work. Like everybody was like putting in the work and studying, and that pharmacy stuff. If you ain't really with it, you ain't. Some people force themselves to do it, and
Yeah.
because it was a good idea for you. But I think now you're developing WSUP, KWSUP radio and stuff like that. And, you always talk about the things that you wanted to do as a child, being in front of people, speaking, playing basketball, having those experiences. And I think it's important to get through the blah, 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 blah to get to the real message that was there since a kid, and creating those things. And then it's funny because when you was a kid, only thing you had to see was Martin and all these other people. Like you didn't see all the behind the scenes, so you get to make and create whatever it is that you want,
Yeah.
and fill in those missing pieces, man.
You know a movie I watched yesterday? Well, not yesterday, this week that really spoke to me. Wayne's
Mhm.
World. And
That's
and
funny.
and I and I feel more in my Wayne's World era than like my Martin era right now. I know I always say like I feel like Martin Payne, but I'm feeling very like Wayne from Wayne's World.
What did you- oh, that's funny. I just remember the licorice, and I remember that Asian woman that they had in there, like the girlfriend. That's funny. I feel like they was like 40 during that movie. Like, it was old, or just looked
Yeah, they
old.
definitely looked old.
I don't remember. I don't even remember. They had their they had like a radio show or something like that. They had a TV show.
They did. And it was indie, and then somebody tried to sign them and then like
Hmm.
make them do all this stuff that they didn't want to do. It was interesting. It was relevant.
It's crazy how things come back around like that and bring you some relevance, man.
Yeah.
Um, I have been feeling overwhelmed as far as having a job, business, relationship, family, all that kind of stuff. And I have, we talk about it often, really been leaning on spirituality to be able to find that motivation, find that focus and stuff. Because in my mind, there's no way I can do all the stuff that I'm trying to do. And like you said, coming on, like doing the show with Johnny, it's like, okay, we're just doing the show. Doing this show, it's like, all right, we just going on live and doing it. And because when my mind start thinking about all the things that, okay, we got to do the marketing, we got to push this, we got to push that, da, 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 da. But when I'm just like, I'm, following the spirit, I'm going to do what needs to be done, and really, 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 really trying to listen to what needs to be done instead of trying to force something. And because when I'm forcing something is, um, and not getting on you, but it's like I see that struggle in that little yellow book, writing those, the it was chemistry,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? It's like, and for even for me going and trying to do whatever and forcing it and stuff, and just really trying to focus myself on letting things just go and flow and being in that space without forcing. Um, when do you know? I mean, because you just moved to New York, and it could be a whole lot of things to make you feel overwhelmed. But it seems like you really have been taking your time with it and kind of easing into it. How do you know that you need to flow, and then how do you know when you need to grind?
Um, I think I think it's a feeling, but I think it's a matter of like following the feeling of where it's supposed to go. Like listening to you talk about like doing the marketing and shit like that. Like I think that's what's been coming up for me a lot with the show I'm doing right now, the Creators Toolkit, because the product is great, the product is quality, but then I start getting in my head about how am I marketing, how am I growing it, how am I doing this, because I've done this before. And I think the difference between like that show and this show is, like I said, this show is very this show feels very relaxed for me. So I don't do much editing. I'm not doing much of anything but just putting it out. But with that, I think I'm so tied to the energy that I'm putting into like the editing and shit like that, that it's like, man, I really want to get this out there. And yeah, maybe it's a matter of just like just creating the shit and then worrying about getting it out there, you know?
And that is putting creativity first.
Yeah.
And I know that's like a part of who you are is putting creativity first, um, which can it's just even on creative outlets like social media, where it's like you got to produce content and it got to look like and everybody's stuff look like everybody until somebody gets creative and stuff. Um, so sometimes it seems like creativity really isn't rewarded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think that's kind of getting back into that. Just creativity comes from the inside. It comes from you to be able to express it and let it out, man. I know you've kind of taken a blood oath to make sure to put creativity first. It's like but it's important because it's. I want to ask you, what do you feel like your principles for life are right now? And that's one of those.
Mm.
You know, be reading every book. These are my principles. This is what I live by. I'm a man. You know, and I don't think we've ever talked about like I know you have. We have talked about principles, but I feel like a big part of your principles are creativity first, and you know, yeah.
I I think for me the creativity first feels so important because it's like whatever, and this is and it, it could be my bullshit or whatever, but I feel like the energy that gets put into it gets put out. So it's like if I'm focused on the creativity and I'm focused on the energy that I'm putting into it, you'll receive that as the consumer or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When I do output it into the world. But yeah, man, I do I have been in a space of not even questioning that, but just looking at like when is that valuable and when is it not?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
I it makes sense. Yes. Um, I want you to be like Martin Luther King, though, where if he was like, I'm gonna be about peace, even when they hit me over the head, even when they
Mm.
were putting water hose on me, even when they put me in jail, I'm gonna be about peace. So it's like the level of creativity I kind of feel from you, on that Sun Ra level where he was like, you gonna put this. I don't care if it's a government document. I don't care if rent is due. I'm making this music. I'm about this creativity. Um, and I don't know what that looks like for you. And I know that's scary to have that type of, that because even for me, I'm like, what am I trying to, what am I putting over in it? And then everything to kind of make my life around, like, you
Now
know what I
that
mean?
that resonates with me for sure. And you know, I I think that is was made it challenging is like that that feeling of not wanting to compromise my creativity. Um it's made the journey feel challenging because sometimes it's like, if I collaborate with this person or if I do this or do that, it may give me some leverage. And just in my experience of like seeking leverage has never worked. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like it always has to be a bigger thing like a bigger value at hand. Um, you know, like and even with that, it's still like me having to put myself into whatever it is that I'm doing.
Hmm. Because I think you can live a very comfortable life where you say there's a time and place for creativity, and then there's a time and place for politicking and doing, and kind of just getting along. That's a very comfortable, nice, very good life. But then there's also that life of there is no time and place for nothing but creativity.
Politicking is hard for me, and it's always been hard for me in every space that I've been in, from like, you know, when I was trying to do the stuff with the basketball league, and having jobs and shit. Like, playing the game has not ever felt natural to me. And I even think about, like, something that immediately comes up for me is like when I did something with the company last year and they asked me to find somebody that was in mental wellness that was queer. And I had a hard time finding somebody, and I found somebody that I thought would give me some leverage. And when I took that step back, it was like, nah, like, I need to talk to this person on a Mike Brown level, even if it'll give me some leverage or whatever the fuck it'll do. Like, I need to really talk to this person in the way that I communicate, and whatever I get out of this is enough. You know, I think the idea of what shit's supposed to be, what it's not supposed to be, and shit like that gets in the way as well. Like, I guess just the biggest thing in the creativity is like really just being intentional and not compromising.
Yeah. And it's difficult for me to be free because I enjoy politicking. Like, I can be very good at it and I can enjoy it where I can be very, likable and, look for leverage in those ways. That's what, not having a job for a long time. I kind of was out of that space, and then coming back into the space of a job. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot this is culture. This is people interacting and engaging with each other, and it ain't about the work that you do all the time. It's about the people that like you and the people that know you and stuff. And especially me doing stuff in the community. I had a conversation with a dude, and he was like, "Yeah, man, you got to know these people, and you got to be at these meetings and do these things, and be in good graces with these people." And it's like, but this is the job. Like, the job is this, and then there's politicking. You
And
know what I
I've
mean?
I've I've heard that about multiple jobs where people be like, "Oh,
Every job.
you got to do this to stroke this person's ego and all that." And it's like, that don't make sense to me. And I'm telling you that, like, as I hear you say that, I'm like, man, this is why I have a hard time with all of this shit. Like, I'm not gonna throw on myself like I'm not made for that shit, but you know, it doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't. And because I've played the employee role for so long, I've made it work. And sometimes it feels, safer to go back to that because it's all I know. But nah, that sounds like abuse.
Yeah. And I think it's, um, if to me, it feels like it's a part of just being, part of being that human where you want approval, you want validation, you want to connect with people in a way to get what you want. Stuff is, it's that human part of us. Like any other group of animals that come together, monkeys, I'm gonna give you this banana, so you give me this, and all that kind of stuff. But then, you have, if you really want to achieve something, you got to step outside of that, and you got to say, I may not get liked for this, I may not get immediate rewards for this. I'm willing to sacrifice all that for XYZ. And like you said, it ain't got nothing to do with, actually with the work's getting done and all that kind of stuff. I think it has a lot to do with, are you willing to go to the lengths to express what you need to express? Are you willing to, you know, stay true. And you might never see the rewards of your work, and you putting your work and stuff here. So I think that's something that is next level. Um, and I look at it because I know, like I said, I know I enjoy politicking and socializing and being a part of culture and stuff like that. Because I feel seen, I feel connected and stuff like that. But I don't. It's only so far I can take you in my vision, in my dreams for myself. A part of that, a part of letting that go is a part of getting what I want is letting that go of seeking validation and stuff. And my job is cool, and even but just being working honestly being working in community stuff so much where it's like, oh, I thought we was here for the kids. I thought we was here for the whatever in the community. It's like, yeah, and you know, so and that's with any job. Like I said, that's with any job. I thought we was here for the paycheck. Yeah, and uh, I need to feel good about what I do with my 8 hours a day. I need to feel like I'm whatever, whatever. So that can get in the way of I just want to create the best possible thing. I just want to express the deepest, most honest, clear way because that's all I care about. And that's a level that I feel like um, I can see you have been looking at it for a long time, and I see you even more committing to it of like, I will move to New York. I will let go of my job. I will travel the country. I will grow my hair to be committed to creativity. And that's a lifestyle, man.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that because internally that journey can feel lonely at times and not understood. So I appreciate that. Um and as you talk and as I listen to you, it makes me acknowledge how important it is to have a team.
Yeah.
And for me, for myself to understand to trust my team because like I feel like I do need people on my team that are political. I do need people that think in that way and move in that way. But sometimes because I'm so tapped into the creative, like it's hard for me to release that trust. And that's just being real.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I like the creative part as well. I don't know if I have the patience to learn the a lot of the creative aspects and and all that kind of stuff. I think, yeah, man, like being able to recognize other people's gifts and come together is important, man. Even me, talking to little man, it's like, hey, there's somebody in my space right now. I can't just be like, hey, man, I don't have just this, they just shut up and get away from me and stuff like that. It's like we gotta respect each other's space and learn his strengths. And I know, okay, I'm talking to him now for an hour from now, for a year from now. What I'm saying to you now is going to affect your behaviors hour from now, and then that's going to affect how we get out the house. That's going to affect how we, the rest of the morning, and then that's going to affect when you turn 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Um, and man, I didn't realize, yeah, man, he teaching me a lot about that of like, uh, yeah, speaking to people, looking at their strengths and from a place of presence of like I'm focused on right here right now, and I'm not going to react to what you're saying right now because I know, hey, I'm good, and I want us to be good an hour later, an hour. Just kind of looking down the line at people's strength and looking at my own strengths and strengths. I can't say that word. And to really build something. Um, because like you said, if you don't feel like you enjoy politicking, uh, yeah, get somebody else that does. somebody on board that's their thing.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Put me on the
Shit.
team, man.
That's a bet. Look, I need you to start politicking for this show. Just start letting people know,
I
like,
will.
you know, um, the production value goes up as we get it.
I'm not sure why I have a hard time sharing my stuff. I think um um I don't know. I think I definitely have been looking at that. Even the church that I go to, the reverend was like, can you help with marketing and stuff? And my first thing I can go to is like, oh, I just have my business page. I really don't, I really don't post anything and stuff. It's all like business stuff. But um, I think just for my own progression and wellness and health, um, and acceptance of who I am, it's like, yeah, I need to have a way to express my life that's not strictly for my clients and contracts and stuff like that. Because I got a lot of stuff going on in life, and to be able to express it will be very. It's not even necessary, but it's it feels, I want to say transformational, because for my whole life I've been very compartmentalized. So I ain't gonna talk about this over here. I can talk about that, da, 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 da. And you know, just to see what it would be like for me to be fully integrated, where everything is on board with everything. Like I can, yeah, I'm doing this and doing that, and you know, um,
So
I
I
know.
have a. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I was saying, I know it's different. A lot of people are like, you get rewarded from being compartmentalized. I know how to keep this separate from that, from that. But what about the rewards of having everything integrated? What are those? So I'm curious on that. But yeah.
Well, I have a question for you, and I have a tool.
Hmm.
The tool is because I know you are a person that likes to invest in just their growth.
Hmm.
Something that could support you in finding that comfort and just putting yourself out there more creatively is my Artist Way circle. We're starting
Hey,
one back up at the beginning of June. I'm gonna start promoting it in May, and there'll be an early bird special for $200. So
nice.
get in at that price point if that resonates and aligns with you. But when I tell you the transformation that I've seen people quit their jobs being a part of this course. I've seen people release calendars, release
Mm,
poetry books.
mm,
Being amongst community of creatives that are, professional creatives, people that don't know what their creative medium is, like just people that want to create life and live a more fulfilled life. I've seen them transform in this group. So, that is a
nice.
tool for what you're talking about. Also, my second question was, does your church have a marketing budget? Because if so, tell them holler at me.
Right. I'll ask. I'll ask. Um, 'Cause yeah, we need to get out of there. Get out. I will ask. I'm a part of the board as well. I'm like, how did I get this? Fighting, be a part of all the. I'll be politicking, man. Not even knowing.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong
No,
with politicking.
I like it.
Especially if you are seeing the reward that you want from it. Like I don't see nothing wrong with it. Like it's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah,
Like none of this stuff is bad if it works for you. Like if you could figure it out and make it work, you know, I say go
yeah,
for it.
yeah. I think I have been resisting it for a long time. One, because I didn't think, like the whole I'm not good enough thing. Like, oh, this commissioner, this and this person leadership. No, I'm not that. But then it's like I keep finding myself on these things, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, these is regular people. And then two, not trusting myself with power, like not having it before, and then not trusting myself. Like, oh, what am I going to do with making these decisions and all this kind of stuff? But and that's just me. I'm just there, and I'm gonna do the best I can. And you know, I ain't trying to do no wrong to nobody and do no wrong to myself. So just embracing it. When you said for the art letting go course, man, you said somebody released the calendar. In my mind, I saw them just like saying forget everything on their calendar.
I'm sure somebody has probably gotten there. This was more so like somebody created a calendar,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
yeah, I could see that happening as well. It's powerful, man, and it's funny. Like every time I do it, though I am the person leading or facilitating. I don't really like the word leading, facilitating. I get something out of it as well.
Hmm. Every time, yeah, that's real, man. And it starts when?
Probably gonna start in the beginning of June.
That's what's up, man. That's a
Figuring
good
out the
time.
date right now.
That's a good time. Um, what kind of people join? Like already creative people looking for.
Literally everybody. People that are already, we've had painters, we've had teachers, we've had IT techs who used to do music, like literally everybody that just wants to unlock their potential as a creative.
Yeah, I'm having trouble identifying what how I want to serve people, man. I did a parent night last night, um, and the parents really talked about how important it was for them to come and have that time for themselves to relax and breathe, and everybody felt relaxed and great. Um, I'm still having a problem of what I could offer people online and be attractive to them, like a kind of course or a group or something like that. I don't know where I'm missing at, man. So um, I definitely, I guess, want. Yeah, I'm just saying that because it's like, yeah, I want. I don't know how to offer somebody something that they can would like to come to. That's not, in person. And I don't even know if I fully have invested into it. Like you said before, you gonna whatever you put into it, it comes out. And I don't know if I fully put everything into the online stuff because I'm so in love with in person myself. But yeah, man. So I definitely would love to check out your course, man. 'Cause I know you're gonna put your whole into facilitating and creating the course, man. So let me learn from you, man, how to help the folks online.
Yeah, man, I got you. I got you. Like I said, you did by the end of this course, I feel like painting, music, podcasting, all that stuff will feel surface level when you start seeing life as your canvas.
Mm, that sound like a subtitle, a tagline, a T-shirt, all that. That's dope, man. Three questions.
Yeah.
I wish we had music for the three questions.
Let me see if I what I got in the library.
90s G Funk type of for no reason. Just boom, 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 boom. Three questions. Three questions.
Shit, I know ain't none of this here. Let's see what we got.
Hey, there you go. Three questions. I'll take it, man. Funky baseline. All right. Hey, made me forget my question. Um, nah, books, podcast, or documentaries.
Oh, documentary came up first for me.
Really?
Um, as far as for me to experience, but as I'm saying that, like maybe even to create. I've never created a documentary. I want to do one, but yeah, probably documentary.
Newark, Los Angeles, Houston.
I'm gonna say Newark right now because I'm here. Um, but all those places have different experiences for me, so it's not like a I don't feel like one is better than the other. That's what my mind goes, which one is better. But yeah, I'm gonna go Newark.
I really don't like that word Newark because I can't. I want to say New York. So Newark, like why y'all name it like that? It sound yeah. Anyway, um, morning, noon, or night.
Morning.
Has it always been like that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm not really a night person like that.
me neither.
All right, I got three for you. Um Hot or cold?
Hot. I don't like the cold.
Uh
I don't know why I'm so dramatic about it. You know, that's what I've been waiting for from Snoop when Snoop used to do his show.
what's that? Oh yeah. Yeah. That's true. um Tea or coffee?
Tea, not a coffee person.
And mountains or snow?
Mountains, mountains. I don't. It can snow in the mountains, but mountains in general. I love the mountains, man. I'm so grateful to be able to have the mountains out here. I definitely more mountains than even beach.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's my thing. Yeah, man. Let's get a meditation before we go, man.
that
I
sounds
forgot
good.
got to do it in the beginning. Start talking. All right, man. Let's let all that soak in, and when it soak in, it creates a sensation of relaxation, a release of tension, a completion of a thought, a focus, a breath. You want to breathe in through the nose and exhale, relax, release. Allowing yourselves to be creative, to be interesting, to be smart, to be fun, to be athletic, to be whatever you want to be without the need for validation, correction, interpretation, just letting your experience be what it is. As you breathe in and breathe out, you got the courage, the bravery, the understanding to allow yourself to flow through life. Breathing in, breathing out. You got the skills, you got the tools. You are enough to enjoy what you do and spread love. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Continue focusing on your breath throughout the day. And as always, feel free to feel free. And namaste. Peace, peace, peace.
I appreciate that.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank
Sure.
y'all.
Thank y'all for tuning in. This has been episode 16 of Feel Free Conversations. See y'all next week. Peace.